Right.
And then we know FEMA ran, let me tell people.
Seals the deal.
Well, since you're asking the question, I forget his first name, the deputy head of FEMA was running a drill September 10th, September 11th, around the World Trade Center with the city of a terror attack on the towers, and they moved their command center out that morning, and he went on, you can pull this up, FEMA deputy director tells ABC News they were running drill on 9/11, and he says, we were running a drill of a terror attack on these buildings. Then they went before Congress and said we weren't, and lied. Then it came out, it was called Tripod 2. And that was only one drill. The Pentagon and CIA were running drills of the exact same attacks at the exact same time. Do you understand that?
Oh, absolutely, I understand that. And I'm looking forward on Saturday. Next week, I'm going to make some flyers, and I'm going to let people know exactly what came out of the Washington Post and the Christian Science Monitor and everything else. I'm going to let as many people know as I can.
Well, God bless you. What do you think's going on here?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you, sir.
What do you think's going on here?
In Vegas? Well, what I think is that if they're still having it on and they scrapping it off the website, they don't want any evidence or any paper trail saying that something is going to happen, because when it happens, they don't want anyone to find a secret leaked document that says, oh, look, they already planned it. So,
I appreciate your call. I said over 2 years ago that Vegas was a prime target because it's going bankrupt and is having about a third the traffic it was having before. The mafia, basically, the globalist mafia runs Vegas. What a great way to blow up Vegas and then get all that insurance money and government insurance money from the American people. I mean, I have always said, well, the CFR likes to brag about what they're planning. And it was the Hart-Rubin Commission 6 years ago that bragged. Denver, Dallas, Cleveland, and 2 other cities were the main target. But I've always said, and many of my listeners have said, that Vegas is one of the prime targets. And now, because it's in such financial trouble, the globalists won't nuke it just for the money, but they'll pick a target that also has a win-win-win. Kind of like the towers were leaning. They had asbestos. They were only half full. They took out a triple insurance policy on it the month before they blew them up. And again, folks, if you want to keep your pension funds, if you don't want to be a slave, if you want to keep your guns, wake up and realize government staged terror. We have criminals running our government, and 9/11 was an inside job. If you can't see this, you're not going to see the new one. And again, we have similar Rush Limbaugh transcripts saying they may stage something. And now Clinton is out saying, gee, I hope there isn't another Oklahoma City bombing. And separately, top nuclear experts are saying it's nothing but fear-mongering and hype. Obama's saying the #1 threat to America is a nuke attack. They'll blame the nuke attack on a foreign government, and they'll blame terror attacks on federal buildings on the American people. I've been predicting this and predicting this and predicting this, and 1 hour after Joe Stack supposedly flew his plane to that building, and all the evidence says that was staged, all the witnesses said nobody in the plane, emergency crews already there, told to show up early, on and on and on. He was tied into black ops. His family came out and said it was a cover-up. He was tied into Homeland Security and remote control aircraft, all of this. 1 hour after it happened, I went live on my weekday show, 11 a.m., about an hour and 8 minutes after it happened. And I said, they're going to blame me within hours. Within 1 hour of airtime, 2 hours of it happening, Austin American Statesman, New York Daily News, London Guardian saying I had called for this attack. Now, folks, I'm here being framed. I speak out against violence every day. I told you 3.5 weeks ago, as we were reading it on the big government-funded anarchist websites, that they were going to come out with Nazi signs and stage violence at tea parties. Now it's in the Associated Press. What does it take for you to get that I know what I'm talking about here? Okay, I just tell the truth. Now, it's psychological terror to say we're going to be nuked. It's psychological terror to say the Tea Parties are going to blow up a federal building and that the Internet's bad. That may be all they do. And if we get the word out, it may stop there. But let me tell you something. Get it through your head. America is run by offshore banks. They've stolen tens of trillions. They've got new legislation to take even more. They're not playing games. They're in Bloomberg and AP saying they're going to take your pension funds next. In fact, print me that again. Government regulators tell pension funds to invest in failed banks, ordering them to. This is about power and global domination. You don't just think the people running our country have invaded over 100 nations and have 170 military bases. You don't just think they'll kill 1 million Iraqis and don't care about anybody else. They'll do that here. The average military and the average cops aren't involved. They'll be psyoped like everybody else. This isn't a radio show. It's not entertainment. It's not a game. And every cop, every military person, every FBI agent, every bureaucrat out there, you're in the same boat as the American people, and you better get that through your head right now. You better understand these people mean business. The same banks on record, now declassified, funded the communist and the fascist. As Carol Quigley, Bill Clinton's mentor at Georgetown, the head of political science, wrote, it's all staged. And now they're taking down America. Here it is. Failed banks may get pension fund backing as FDIC seeks cash. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corps is trying to encourage public retirement funds that control more than $2 trillion to buy all or part of failed lenders and take your money. That's criminal. The health care bill is unconstitutional and criminal. It's all... I've got mainstream news. Should Obama control the web? Obama can shut off the web. In fact, Google that and give me an article. I mean, they're saying, half the czars in the White House are saying shut down free speech. I had a radio exec in my office Friday, a guy that works with all the big executives, Glenn Beck's people, Limbaugh's people, everybody. I'm just going to leave it at that. He knows them all. And he said, yes, they all have basically FBI agents protecting them, retired. They're scared to death, and this guy was asking me, where should I move? I may leave the country, okay? I don't have radio execs and radio people, high level, making fun of me anymore. You know, I had them calling me 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, saying, you're a dynamic talk show host, let us hire you, but no New World Order, no Federal Reserve, no the banks are going to get us stuff. Be a mainline Republican and you're going to be king. I was offered what Glenn Beck has over and over and over again. But the truth is what matters to me. I will go all the way every time. And to all you radio executives out there, and all of you in the media that are listening, look, you're not going to have a country if you don't stand up. And the good news is people are finally starting to tell the truth. I mean, look, I've criticized Rush Limbaugh, and I don't think he's gone far enough, and he defends the Republican Party and everything else. But what I've been hearing lately is they may stage something. This is terrorism. They're setting us up. They're provocateuring. You know, they're un-American. They're destroying the economy by design. This is criminal. We've got to do something. I give credit where's due. Limbaugh and Savage. They're the only ones going all the way, or even close to it. Now look, how long have I told you that Goldman Sachs is a criminal operation? They run every major regulatory agency. Their former people do. They've got the Treasury Secretary. They've got the New York Fed chief. They've got the chairman of the Federal Reserve. All are their people. They engineered the crisis. 4 months ago, we had the big McClatchy news writer. What's his name on? Greg Gordon on, who got via lawsuits the internal documents where Goldman Sachs engineered this whole thing by design. And so now they've been indicted civilly by the Security and Exchange Commission, filled with their people, so they can suck up all the evidence and then have a $5 million fine on trillions stolen. That'd be like if you robbed a bank, you're walking out with $1 million, and the cops say, give me 1,000 and I'll let you go. And here it is. I mean, this is not my opinion. This is the London Guardian, biggest newspaper in Europe. Now we know the truth. The financial meltdown wasn't a mistake. It was a con. It's a con. It's a con. It's not your government. It's not your Pentagon. It's not your country. And these people are going for broke. This is going to be like a red terror in this country. They're not training checkpoints at FEMA camps and kids to spy on their parents for nothing. This isn't going to be some boss hog, bid rigging, scam, or insider trading. This is the total takeover of our country. They've already committed so many crimes, they're going for broke now. They're going all the way now. And I'm all the way. I'm all in to fight them. My name, my treasure, my blood, my honor, who I am is on the line. Just like John Adams or George Washington. And all of you have a chance to be part of history on the side of right. So many well-meaning, smart, intelligent, dynamic yuppies out there making hundreds of thousands or millions a year, and you laugh at anybody who's involved like they're un-American, and you're smart because you're not involved, and you ride the fence, you take the middle way. Mark my words, if we lose this country, it is your fault, you jackasses out there. We know the globalists are evil. We know their game plan. Thousands of their documents have fallen into our hands. And we know the general public's dumbed down. But those of you who are intelligent and know which way the wind blows better get off your big fat butts and do something. That's all I can say to you right now. I mean, it came out in Congress 2 weeks ago. 100-to-1 leverage, world's largest fraud exposed. J.P. Morgan, Chase caught manipulating gold and silver market. Obama pushing new banking takeover. Goldman Sachs indicted civilly. New York Times. All right, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to come back and go to call after call. Mike, Pete, Victoria, Smookum, Mark, Herman, Annie, Marlene, Leo, others. Your calls straight ahead after the news on the other side. This is the defense of our republic, toe-to-toe.